in the months after the collapse of the Absolute. Tonight, fate renews thy bond once more. Thou shouldst take care to preserve it. It is a great weapon, wielded in the hand of good. Go. Know one another once more.
It's good to meet again.
Very.
Starting to wonder if you'd show up. Honestly, so have I. Oh, come here, will you? It's been forever. You feel a little more substantial than before. Less camping and scrounging off the land, I take it? Same. I'm glad you seem well. Truly. I had no doubt. But I'm joking. Of course I want to know. Tell me all. As am I. Hopefully these meetups will become a regular occurrence. It's not that I'm sure. After all, we've faced down bigger threats. Don't be a stranger.
He looks coyly at the ground. Suddenly he snaps. He is, however, exhausted. He's had plenty of adventures without you. The joy in the owlbear's eyes is...
So you made it! Well, I wasn't sure, and I must... What have you been up to? No relapses, I hope? I am pleased, not that, but I am glad to see you doing... I haven't seen the sun since the brain fell. I'm reduced to eating vermin. Well, although you're more than capable of facing him and killing him. One hopes. Thank you. We've had quite... From the moment I will miss up.
You have managed to survive without me. A welcome surprise. I fear I am becoming accustomed to the taste. So, we could have been conquered. Do you ever regret that we did not take control of the Netherbrain? True. I shall not dwell on the past, though. I feared perhaps it was. Rebels swarm to my cause, and even if it takes centuries, you may observe my... I fear I am becoming accustomed to the taste of sun-fed plants.
Why were we scrounging in barrels and crates for supplies?
But I wish he were here.
God, I remember one evening when we had to eat 14 apples, some fish heads, and a stale loaf of bread just to get by. Withers has a keen eye for a nice vintage. Why were we scrounging in barrels and crates for supplies when he could source these? God, I remember one evening when we had to eat 14 apples, some fish heads, and a stale loaf of bread just to get by.
Well, now. You can make yourself present. Oh, for my first. Same twisting alleys for purse pickers, and empty through Baldurian. Not though she spends more time locking up comrades for pocketing 8 ones. I may have little love for this city. I wished at that very moment to give you a new purpose. To invite you to the Harpers. You were ready. But I wanted you to have time. For you. You will make the very best of Harpers. Now, I must inspect.
Withers has a keen eye for a nice vintage. Why were we scrounging in barrels and crates for supplies when he could source these? God, I remember one evening when we had to eat 14 apples, some fish heads, and a stale loaf of bread just to get by.
thou feelst it still. She is not here, she who was the boldest. Hast thy thoughts been with brave Karlach often? She would not come. Correct. Not in planes material, elemental, nor transitive can her like be found. In but a dozen 10 days, an entire life was lived. More than mortal years. Mortal centuries were hers. Thy band, thy bond, gave that life to her. Not like thou wert her kin. It was written in her heart. Surely thou knowest that. In the fugue plain, her soul burns so bright, it pains the gods to look upon. Recall that in time all changeth and all is rejoined. Thou shalt be with her again. What indeed? Prick up thy ears and listen. The balance of the world restored. The balance of these lives, mortal and otherwise, brought to account. Hear me, thou heroes, wastrels, friends. I have waited long to tell you these words. It is over. For now. Thou played thy part in weaving the fabric of fate itself, but for every thread you sewed, so did the gods unravel another. Sleep, rest, revel, but be ready, for thou mayst yet be needed. Until we meet again, I wish thee every possible fortune, health, wealth, love, and above all, problems worth solving. To you. There thou art, the dead three. Thy faces gods, thy actions barely worthy of the name. Didst truly believe thy ploy would succeed? Didst believe I would not notice? Thou soughtst to bolster thy strength by taking away the souls of mortals. But souls vanish when their hosts become mind flayers. Didst think the other gods would not notice? Gods thou may be, yet thou hast proven thyself Fools. Everyone. The supplication of Bane. The whimper of Baal. The death mule of Merkel. Felled by mortals. I overestimated thee. They did not. Vermin, away. Thou wilt trouble us no more.